typically it's everybody who wasn't born here.
Exactly.
It's Herman Achenbach. He's been playing since he was a kid. The World Dewey Kutsia has been playing since he was a kid. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure all the Argentinians have been playing since they were kids. And I guess they had a clinic this yesterday,
Yep.
actually, the youth clinic, and I saw some of the pictures. It looked like a good turnout, and that's what you want to see. You want to see
Yeah.
a lot of that because the kids, that's the future. That's
This
going
was
to be
this
what
was
makes us a
the
competitive
best
fan.
thing that the Jackals as an organization have done since they've been in existence is go out and meet local rugby kids, have the professional players out there doing an actual training camp so that the kids can watch. I know that they did some like camps during the summer and stuff like that, but this is, to me, this is a different level of interaction with the community, and that they
Yeah,
just need to continue doing that. One camp in a year is nothing, right? They need to regularly be out in the community at games, at kids trainings, doing a training. Like they did a training right there, where fans could go out and watch. Those are the opportunities that this organization can't screw up, because this is a fickle community. It's a fickle sports community. There's a
yeah.
lot of sports being played in the area. And rugby is way down the list of sports. So if you screw it up, there's soccer, there's basketball, there's good hockey, there's tons of good football. There's baseball. There's so much to do in DFW that you've got to grab onto it, and you've got to keep, you know, pulling at it.
I agree. It's they've got to get out in the community a lot more this year than they did last year. I'm still constantly people don't know about this team. They don't know about this sport. They don't know about this team. And it's, the number one thing I can say about bringing people to their first rugby game is there were two words that you will never hear out of their mouth, which is "this sucks." They
Yeah.
will never say that. You bring an American to a rugby game, once they figure out what's going on, they love it. They
Yeah.
love it. And especially the fact that, like, at the end of the game, if you want to go have a beer with these guys, guess what? You can go have a beer and get a selfie,
Yep.
and they're totally just normal dudes. Like,
Yep.
even the big names, like even when Ma'anonu was here, super nice to everybody. I got to meet Andy Ellis, super nice to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, these guys were just normal blue collar dudes, and I think we have that again this year on this squad. A lot of, like, I mean, especially with the returners.
Yep.
I can't say anything negative about any of these returners. As far as personal experiences I had with them, I mean, I could. Brendan Rams is probably the smartest rugby player I've ever met in my life.
And
Speaks,
hell of a worker. He's a
dude.
workhorse on the
He's a
field.
general, man. You see him during the warm-ups before games. He's leading everything. Go, go, go. I mean, maybe not the greatest talent on the pitch, but definitely a leader, if
Yeah.
you want to say that. So, like, it's good having him back. It's good having Liam Murray, Alex Tucci. Liam Murray got some more Canadian caps over the summer. He was able to do a couple of internationals with them. So it was good. The back, like I said, the big holes we seem to have are locks.
Yep.
And who are we going to have play fullback? Is it going to be Hayden Hill, who was absolutely dynamite?
I mean, is this the level where, because with the Reds, he's one of the best probably fullbacks in the country at the D1 rugby level. Is he a full-time fullback at the MLR level? I think he can be, but is he right now? I would suggest that they're probably not going to start him, but I'd love to see him get a lot of minutes. And he could fill in anywhere. I mean, he's been playing in the centers mostly for the Reds. So
he was absolutely, the games we had him last year, him and Chris Pennell played so well off of each other.
Center, fullback, wing.
Yeah, he's just a utility. He's a utility back, and do we have another one of those? Is Eric Naposki a utility back?
So I really like the idea of Eric being a utility back, very similar to Hayden, except he's more the elusive type player. So you're probably not putting him at inside center. I think Naposki at fullback, either of the wings, outside center, even he could probably slide in at 10 or 9 and play.
He
Just
I talked
because
to
of
him.
how
He put
quick
on,
he is.
apparently he put on some bulk during the summer. He put on about 15 pounds of
Well, I
weight
think
during the
fullback's
summer.
the final position for him if he can figure it out.
If he can kick well, if he can kick off of each foot, I think he'd be great. Obviously, he has the elusiveness and the speed
Yeah.
to kind of run the engine from the back like that.
Right.
I'm not at all. I'm not at all worried about our backs. I'm not worried about anything 9 through 15 for us. I think we'll be fine with what we have. The big question is 1 through 8. Those are going to be the questions. This is what killed us last year. The only game where we were even competitive in scrummaging was the Houston game at home, where they won it in the closing seconds of the game. We were competitive in that game at
scrummaging. I would say that the line out was poor in that game, but the Sabercats line out was also, I think, poor in that game.
We've got to get the set pieces down. We've got to get the scrummaging, the basics, the fundamentals. If our defense can be 25 to 40% better than it was last year, our offense can carry it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that Alejandro Torres and Adrian Carlson can be dynamic fly halves. They're both dynamic at their position. Alejandro can kick, Adrian can run, and I think we have no problem at that. Imhoff coming in, replacing Carlo Denason, it seems, probably getting the bulk of the minutes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see any issue whatsoever for us scoring wise. It's going to be our defense. Our defense is what let us down all season last year.
Yeah.
But we played none. We played no.
I don't think it was fitness. It didn't seem to be a fitness issue as much as was putting ourselves in bad spots, especially with our, one of the things is if you can't hold on to the ball, you spend so much time on defense, it just wears you out. And so when you're losing every scrum and line out, it makes it impossible to hold on to the ball, and you just spend all game on the back foot. And having that, along with the fact of maybe the defensive structure wasn't perfect for what we had, I think those are the pieces that need to get fixed.
Well, I feel like with the coaching staff, obviously, that they've brought in, I mean, Mario Ledesma, I mean, you don't really need to speak. This guy is a scrummaging master.
Well, and he's been the set piece coach for the U.S. national team for the last season.
Yeah, and it's I don't think you can get, as far as the art of scrummaging, I don't think the dark arts, as we call it, South Africans will say the dark arts. I don't think you get somebody as masterful at those arts as Mario Ledesma very often. That man not only played for his national team, he coached his national team. He's coached all around the world. And I think having a gentleman like that in the scrummaging side of everything, he's going to fix so many things. There's going to learn so many techniques. I still think the biggest transition for him is going to be not playing on natural grass.
Yeah.
Having to play on turf fields is probably going to be a bit of an adjustment for him. But I think with what we have on paper here, we obviously need to
let's look at, we talked about
the
American and Canadian players a little bit. Let's look at what's incoming real quick. We've got a few more minutes. The trade for Juan Pablo Zeiss, I think, could be really key in our set piece, at least in our scrummaging. The guy is proven to be a top probably 3 scrummager in the country. Obviously he's up in age, so you're not looking long term, but to fix a problem for this season, that was a huge step forward.
Agreed, 100%, definitely. Probably our most seasoned front row, at least seasoned flanker. I'd say our most seasoned front row player by far.
Yeah.
And Pablo Zeiss. And just hoping that with his, veteran leadership, he kind of helps some of these younger guys. Augenbug. I know Brendan Rams has heaps of experience, but still, it's like having these veterans that can work with these young guys. That's really what it is. It's these veterans working with these young guys.
Hookers, we're bringing back Kota, and we're bringing back Robinson, although Robinson was a mid-season trade with New England, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
And Connor Robinson's a young guy, not a lot of experience. Looks like he could be a decent player, but I don't see him getting a ton of minutes. This looks like Thomas Prevail's position. I mean, he's coming over from UCR, and not necessarily top, from is it Breve? Was he with Breve or Benetton?
What's it? Oh, his last name?
No.
Oh,
He was with one of the Italian teams.
yeah, I can't remember which
Okay.
one.
I
It
think it
wasn't
might
the
be it might
URC
be
team,
Benetton,
obviously, but
but
yeah,
he's by far the most experienced player. He's got to be the starter at this point. We talked about
yeah.
the issue with locks. We have Lucas Burr, who's coming over from Argentina. We don't really know anything about him other than he's been playing fairly high level. He's been playing with the Pumitas for several years. He was called into Puma's camp to play for the top level team. I don't think he got any minutes, but a guy who clearly is Argentina thinks is a guy up and coming at
Yeah.
lock. But that's all I have for lock. I don't know who else would move in. I would love to
Well,
keep
so
Laura on the back
Charlie
row.
Hola played lock for us last year. They've got
Yeah.
him listed as a flanker.
Yeah.
He's not really a lock. I mean, he can play it, but like, I mean, neither. If you looked at Bronson Tellis on paper, he wasn't really a lock either. He wasn't tall enough,
No.
but it's what we had.
Right.
So, like I said, hopefully there's something we don't know about. We'll
Yeah.
find out here in the next couple of
The
weeks.
back row is the most exciting thing to me, at least on paper, because Rura, a healthy Rura, Boyson, and then Vara, who apparently is a stud, or putting Hola out there, or even Hapwaki if he's actually coming over. Like, I think any combination there looks really good on paper. Injury issues really killed us last year with our back row.
Yes, it did. But yeah, Conrado Aurora.
He was off. He was off, man. He was
on fire.
excited.
I mean, he was. I told him, man, it's the mustache. It's the mustache. It's that handlebar mustache.